Welcome, everybody, to the Tonkin Legal Group podcast, which is home, of course, of the Australian Family Law podcast. Just highlighting, I suppose, a little bit of an intro screen, which will certainly be the theme of this discussion today. We have, of course, some really big news coming out in the media, being between Sam Walsh and Daniel Gorringe and the fallout of a private conversation which has leaked to the public. I'm your host, as always, Joe Tarbine, and I'm joined by this ever stalwart duo here, dynamic duo of Charlie Robinson. How are you, Charlie?
I'm good, Joe. Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. And of course, thank you to St. John Heath, the principal lawyer here and partner at the firm. Thank you so much for joining us yet again.
It's my pleasure, Joe. Happy to be here. How are you, mate?
Doing very well. Finally, the fake footy stuff is out of the way. That round zero rubbish. I don't know who thought of that. It certainly isn't a very good marketing ploy, considering that I don't think the crowds are really being substantiated for depriving all of us of some great football. But all three of our teams are finally getting a head start. And I'm going to have to apologize for my terrible take on the Bulldogs last week. You were absolutely correct.
Yeah, they are a force to be reckoned with, I think. Although luck did fall their way, but let's wait and see. It's a long season, and as you can see, we've only had 0 rounds so far.
Well played. How are you feeling about this week, Charlie? Your boys on Sunday. You're heading to that game, I think.
Yeah, I'll be there. Look, don't have very high expectations, to be honest. Playing the Saints, who, to be fair, they didn't look too amazing against Collingwood on Sunday night. But I wouldn't say.
I thought they were unlucky. Yeah,
they had their chances. They definitely had their chances. Yeah. So I think they should be beating us pretty convincingly, I think. But I don't know. It's very early days, so who would know? It'd be good to see the new look Ds, and hopefully we're not bombing it in like we have been into the forward line the last 4 to 5 years.
Gee, the rumours are going to start after St Kilda and Ross Lyon, aren't they? If Melbourne get up, that's 0 and 2.
Yeah,
it's hard to come. Yeah. Anyway,
well, they'll be 0 and 2, just like when the Saints come marching in, or when the Saints go 0 and 2. So that will be a very interesting way to start the year.
What about you, Joe? I saw you guys, St. John.
What's going on at Carlton Land?
It's quite remarkable what's happening at Carlton, because we all know Sam Docherty, ex-captain, one of the greats. He's a heart and soul. You cut him, he bleeds blue, if it's a vein, of course. But he is Carlton through and through, and he's had some very strong comments, accurate comments about the Carlton midfield and team in general. And if you beat them, and if you're competitive in the midfield and you outwork them, it's all going to fall apart. This was aired, I suppose, on the Daniel Gorringe's Dan Does Footy podcast. It was aired by Daniel Gorringe without having obtained Sam Docherty's consent. This was, of course, a private audio message sent to him, but Dan decides, without consulting with Sam, to release the footage out for the world to see. And there's been a really big outroar. All of a sudden, the question is, how can Dan do this? How can he go behind his back? How is this allowed? And Carlton have now subsequently banned, or should I say, uninvited Sam Docherty from the next Carlton event. This is a pretty big deal, and certainly is not how everyone wanted to come about with this. So Docherty, unfortunately, now has sort of got a bit of egg on his face. Same thing with Gorringe, and now we're in this situation where the question is, can these private conversations be recorded and disseminated?
Well, we often get asked that question, don't we, Charlie?
We do, yeah. It's a common question, and clients often come in and they already have recordings that they've already made of private conversations, with their partner, without their partner's knowledge, which we know SH can be fairly problematic and most likely inadmissible.
Yeah, exactly. And I just have at hand the two pieces of legislation that impacts on family law clients when they're taping or even videoing their other half. It's the Victorian Surveillance Devices Act 1999 and or the Federal Act, which is the Telecommunications, Interception and Access Act 1979. Now, as I understand it, a breach of either of those acts does carry potentially a jail term. But coming back to your point, Charlie, if somebody is recorded, whether it be a film or an auditory or what's the word I'm thinking of? A taping of someone, audio, a taping of someone's conversation, then that information is generally inadmissible in the Family or Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia. And clients don't like hearing that, do they?
No, they don't. So I guess, and yeah, I mean, it also depends on the circumstances. I mean, if the other party was aware, or if they did see that the person had their camera out and they were video recording the incident, and they didn't say, please stop recording, then I guess that could technically be implied permission for that recording to take place. But yeah, you're right. The clients generally don't like to hear that news, that it's probably not going to be admissible without that implied consent.
So in this case with Docherty, he has a private conversation with Dan Gorringe, but was that a taped? Was that a voicemail? Because if someone invites you to leave a voicemail, then technically they've been alerted to the fact that they're being recorded, and that in fact may be admissible. Now, like anything in the family law jurisdiction, there's always an exception, and that's the Section 138 of the Evidence Act, which says that evidence of a recording is admissible if it goes to the welfare of a child or the welfare of one of the parties. So there are some exceptions.
In this case, with Docherty, it was a private recording message, the same way that, for example, you can record a voice message through a WhatsApp or a type of social media platform rather than having the information be typed out. He's just spoken and it's been sent as an audio message. So for all intents and purposes, he almost just read out a text message that was through private communications there.
I think the blunder that Sam Docherty made was that, even though I know him and Dan Gorringe are close mates, was that he sent it to probably the most active person in the social media footy space. So
you're right.
You'd think he would maybe tread a bit more carefully than send it to Dan Gorringe, but apparently not. Yeah,
I won't pass comment on why that was passed on, other than to say it perhaps shouldn't have been passed on, but we all know in these circumstances there's something to be gained from this information becoming public. And certainly rattled Vossi, who had to front up to the press conference this morning. Well, I thought he handled himself quite well.
I think Vossi's getting used to handling himself quite well. His job's always on the line. There's always pitchforks and knives and torches out there at Carlton. There's even people graffitiing on the wall, sack Voss. So he's having it all at the moment, Vossi. I had it last year.
That was after the trade period, I think, yeah. But I think in Docherty's defence, I don't think, and I was saying this to Joe earlier today, I don't think what he actually said in that voice memo is too earth-shattering. I think it was, you smash us in the midfield, you'll get us, something along those lines. So it's not really anything overly controversial, but yeah, puts the pressure on Voss even further.
I think Lloydie was saying that you could strip out the swear words and just play it to the players and use it as a motivational tool.
Yeah.
Instead, 100%. What do they do? They ban him. They uninvite him. They end up drawing more attention to it than otherwise would have. In classic Carlton fashion, another own goal. Having said that, I back Bombers, so it's not like I have a lot to hang my hat on in recent memory, but still, I know when a failure happens, and that was certainly a bad move No bad looks here.
What's the moral of the story?
Seek consent before recording or publishing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
100%. We will be seeking your consent, guys, and your approval to watch this and all the other episodes to come. Thank you so much for your support and your encouragement, positive feedback on the first episode. We're always open to suggestions. Please follow us on this journey. This was episode 2. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and rate us 5 stars on Spotify if that is where you're consuming us and this media. Thank you so much, St. John, Charlie, for your time today. What's your big call for the week? Just on a final note for this round of football to come.
Well, thank you, Joe. Headlines: Carlton fight back, beat aimless Tigers.
Nice.
I like that. I'm going to go with Bombers beat the Hawks. Zach Merritt kicks winner after the siren.
Whoa. Prophetic.
From your lips to God's ears is all I'll have to say. And then for St Kilda, I'll just say, when the Saints go 0-2. Can't wait for that to happen. All that money, it can only get you so far. Just keep listening to us, and you'll find your value. Don't worry about it. Thank you all once again, and we'll see you all in the next episode.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.